And how we doing now? I think we're live now. Had, for some reason, OBS forgot what sound input it needed to use. I believe we should be live now. So we'll start back from the beginning. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. It's an exciting night here in the Dave Cave as Carl Zilla, Neil Lau, and Cleveland Baseball Fan 879 are in the chat room and ready for tonight's action. As we are coming to you from the Dave Cave with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling from the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We kicked off the action tonight with some Patriot Championship Wrestling matches. Ed Strangler Lewis opened the show with a submission victory over Hacksaw Jim Duggan by way of the Strangler's headlock. The BRISCO brothers, the new generation BRISCO brothers, Mark and Jay, picked up a victory over Doom as Jay Briscoe pinned Ron Simmons by the use of the Jay Driller. The British Bulldogs then moved themselves into championship contenders status with a victory over the original Midnight Express of Brandy Rose and Dennis Condrey, when Davey Boy pinned Condrey by way of the Tower of London. Harley Race then came on and picked up a victory that will put him in championship contention with a pinfall victory over the Spoiler by way of the Pile Driver. And that brings us to tonight's tournament action in the Filsinger Cup tournaments. The tournaments are coming fast and furious toward completion. And actually, next Sunday will be the day that the Tournament of Champions 2023 takes place and the Filsinger Cups will be awarded. We've got 4 matches on the slate tonight in the Filsinger Cup tournaments, capped off by a main event with Bryan Danielson taking on Bruno Sammartino. What a great singles matchup that will be. We'll also see the original Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, taking on the fabulous Kangaroos. Nick Bockwinkel takes on the upstart ADRIAN ADONIS in singles action. And we will kick things off with our opening contest, which will be a tag team match, as we are ready for action. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit, and disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a Filsinger Cup tournament matchup. Introducing first, team number 1 from Reno, Nevada, standing at 6'1", weighing 261 pounds. This is Dick the Bruiser, and his tag team partner hails from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He is the man who made Milwaukee famous. Standing at 5'11", weighing 265 pounds, say hello to the Crusher. So Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher coming down to the ring for their Filsinger Cup tournament matchup against a very popular duo, particularly here in Patriot Championship Wrestling. These are the Patriot reigning tag team champions at a total combined weight of 442 pounds, coming to you from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, collectively known as the Fantastics. It is Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. So Rogers and Fulton have certainly been on a roll here in the Heartland as of late, but they are going to have a stern challenge indeed, taking on Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher in tag team action here in the Filsinger Cup Tag Team Championship. So we will get out our Filsinger Cup gold and yellow dice to kick things off here from Toronto. And it will be Bobby Fulton starting things off against Dick the Bruiser. As the sides come together, handshakes are exchanged, and we are ready for action. and it is Dick the Bruiser who takes the opening initiative roll. And he is going to come with a stomp to the body. Nailed him with a stomp to the body. And he is going to follow that up with another stomp to the body. And Bobby Fulton is stunned. He's going to try and tag out, cannot get to his partner. So Dick the Bruiser remains in control with a boot rake, a brutal boot rake to the side of the face. Bobby Fulton not very happy about that. Neither are the fans here in Toronto. And it is Fulton who gets to his feet and goes with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Dick the Bruiser, and on a roll of 7, that is a running back elbow from Bobby Fulton that stuns Dick the Bruiser. Fulton now in control, another whip to the ropes. Carl Zilla already expressing his preference for Bruiser and Crusher, known to be his favorites. And oh, here's a back body drop on Dick the Bruiser. That is a special mechanic on the Fantastics card. During a tag team match, Fulton and Tommy Rogers can hit this move on both opponents. When this occurs, the opponents cannot make a defensive tag for 3 moves. So Dick the Bruiser does have a defensive tag here. He can't get it done. And now Rogers is in the ring against Dick the Bruiser, and Rogers is in control. Rogers is going to go for a power slam. This is a choice D maneuver. So instead of the power slam, he'll try for a kick to the face. On a roll of 10 or lower, he hits that. And Dick the Bruiser again is hurt and again unable to get to his partner after that double team move. And Tommy Rogers now hits the monkey flip. That's the double flip, and again, 3 more moves without a defensive tag. Bobby Fulton now back into the ring and in control, and Fulton with a right-hand punch to the side of the head of Dick the Bruiser. I don't know what he's expecting to happen with that, and instead he's going to come back with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Dick the Bruiser, and on a roll of 6, that is another running back elbow from Fulton that stuns Dick the Bruiser. Fulton now comes with a running knee lift that stuns Dick the Bruiser, and again he is unable to make the tag as he goes down. And Fulton now in control. They're going to go for the rocket launcher. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 8, Dick the Bruiser is able to kick out. Defensive tags now back in effect for Bruiser and Crusher. As Tommy Rogers now the legal man in the ring. Dick the Bruiser tries to escape the ring. Tommy Rogers not going to let that happen. And instead it is Rogers with a stomp to the lower abdomen of Dick the Bruiser. Bruiser finally can try to make a tag, but he is unable to get there as Tommy Rogers remains in control. And now it is a double sit-out hip toss executed by the Fantastics. They've got a chance for a pin here on a roll of 3 or lower. And on a roll of 8, Dick the Bruiser kicks out again. Fulton now the legal man in the ring as Dick the Bruiser has been on the receiving end of a prolonged double teaming here. And now it is Fulton who's going to go for a sleeper. Sleeper hold attempted by Bobby Fulton. This is a choice G maneuver. And on choice G, his best bet is to go with the death jump. And on a roll of 4, that's a fail. As Bobby Fulton tries for the top turnbuckle, and Dick the Bruiser catches him and throws him to the floor. Down to the floor hard goes Bobby Fulton. Dick the Bruiser in control now, and he's just going to toss Bobby Fulton out of the ring and tag out to Dick the Bruiser. Fulton will make that helpless crawl back into the center of the ring where the Crusher is waiting, and the Crusher comes with a ram into the ring post. This is a choice H maneuver. Choice H, which is either agility or death jump. Neither of these is a good bet against Bobby Fulton with his agility -2. That would make that a 6. He's going to go for the death jump on a B rating, and on a B6, that is a hit. So the Crusher rams Bobby Fulton into the ring post, and Fulton is down. Another ram into the ring post coming. And another successful ram into the ring post executed by the Crusher. Fulton in some trouble here. Crusher moving in with a Crusher Nelson. That's a submission hold. 3 or lower is the submission roll. And on a roll of 10, Bobby Fulton is able to work his way free from the submission hold on that full Nelson, but the problems continue for Bobby Fulton as now the Crusher is on him with the stomach claw. Stomach claw applied by the Crusher, and Fulton is going to be forced to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Not his best option against a brawler of the ilk of the Crusher. But on a roll of 3, it is Bobby Fulton who wins the brawl on the arena floor. He drags the Crusher out of the ring and hits the Crusher with a pile driver onto the ring steps. In Bobby Fulton's case, we'll call that a DDT onto the ring steps. And now it is the Crusher who is stunned. Fulton now in control. And Fulton with a cross body block off the middle rope as Crusher hits the ring. Crusher is hurt, and Fulton makes the tag out to Bobby Rogers. Tommy Rogers. Tommy Rogers now into the ring. He's going to go with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes the Crusher, and on a roll of 7, it is a big kick from Tommy Rogers that stuns the Crusher. Tommy Rogers remains in control, and he is going to go now for a choice D maneuver. Choice D, he'll go for the kick to the face on a roll of 11 or lower. And he got his boot to the side of the mush of the Crusher, and the Crusher is hurt but does not go down as Tommy Rogers maintains control. Rogers now another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Crusher, and on a roll of 10, that's the double specialty move. Both men are B-rated coming off the turnbuckle, so it is Tommy Rogers who gets the better of that one. As Crusher bounced off the ring apron, off the turnbuckle, Rogers hit him with a flying high knee, and Crusher is down. Rogers now with a chance to do some damage. And he's going for the tag finisher. The press slam splash. This is a +1 finisher. And so the pin roll here will be 3 or lower. And on a roll of 8, Crusher is able to kick out. That was a tag team finisher. So Fulton now the legal man in the ring, working on the Crusher. And it is Fulton who's going to go up for a choice G maneuver. That's either a power roll of 5 or lower or a death jump on A. Crusher with a death jump A rating. Fulton's going to go for the death jump. And on a roll of 5, he's going to pay the price. As Fulton again, slow to get up to the top turnbuckle, Crusher catches him and throws him down to the mat hard. Crusher now in control. And Crusher is going to pitch Bobby Fulton out of the ring and down to the arena floor. What's going to happen here? On a roll of 6, it is the best man wins roll. So as they come out to the arena floor, it is Crusher who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a, we'll call it a clothesline off the ring apron. Clothesline off the ring apron executed by the Crusher. Fulton is down. Crusher now in control against Bobby Fulton, and he's going to go out of the ring again. And we will not see shenanigans quite yet. But on a roll of 6, again, it is the Crusher winning the brawl on the arena floor. This time with a diving clothesline off the ring apron. Big lariat hit by the Crusher. And Fulton in big trouble here. Action comes back into the ring. Dick the Bruiser hits the ring. We're going to see a double team here. And on a roll of 10, that is the Crusher holding the arms of Bobby Fulton while Dick the Bruiser comes and hits him with a deadly elbow smash. Elbow smash delivered by Dick the Bruiser, and Bobby Fulton is stunned. Bruiser comes at him with a snapmare and a head twist, just grinding the neck of Bobby Fulton and putting him back down to the canvas. And now Dick the Bruiser is going to push Bobby Fulton out of the mat and down to the arena floor. And again, it is Dick the Bruiser who's going to win the battle on the arena floor and slam the head of Bobby Fulton into the ring apron. I don't know if referee James Lawrence III was here, but he would confirm for us that the ring apron is indeed the hardest part of the ring. And Fulton just ate a piece of that ring apron. And Dick the Bruiser now is in control. Bruiser now going for a one-legged Boston Crab. And he can successfully hit that on a roll of 10 or lower. And he completes that maneuver. And Bobby Fulton is able to get over to the ropes and get to his feet slowly. And Bruiser now is back in control. Forearm smash delivered by Dick the Bruiser. Fulton is stunned. Fulton desperately trying to get over to his corner. Dick the Bruiser is going to try for the boot rake. But Fulton gets out of the way of that. And on the level 1 reversal, it is a double back elbow on Dick the Bruiser executed by both Fantastics. And that makes Tommy Rogers now the legal man in the ring. Rogers now in control, and he pelts Dick the Bruiser with a series of drop kicks. He's a house of fire coming in on Dick the Bruiser. And now it is the double sit-out hip toss that takes Bruiser up, over, and down to the canvas hard. Both men are in the ring. We're going to see some double team action here. And on a roll of 9, it is a double elbow smash delivered by the Fantastics that stuns Dick the Bruiser. Following up on that is Fulton. Choice F maneuver. That is going to be a leg drop on a roll of 8 or lower. He connects on that one. And Dick the Bruiser is hurt. Can Bruiser get over and make the tag? No, he cannot. As Fulton maintains control here. And he's going to try that same leg drop maneuver a second time. This time, Dick the Bruiser got out of the way of that one. Fulton hits the mat hard. And it is Dick the Bruiser who pulls Bobby Fulton up to his feet, whips him to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Bobby Fulton. And on a roll of 7, that is a big knee to the gut delivered by Dick the Bruiser that stuns Bobby Fulton. Bruiser now is going to make the tag to the Crusher, the fresher man in the ring for that team. And now it is Crusher attempting an atomic drop. But Bobby Fulton flips over the shoulder of the Crusher, gets himself free. And it is Bobby Fulton with an arm drag attempted on the Crusher. Not going to be able to get him over as the Crusher just turns and drills him with a stomp, a boot to the gut. Both men come together in the center of the ring. It's Fulton who tries to get the snapmare, cannot get him over. That's a power move, and the power belongs to the Crusher. Crusher just shoves Bobby Fulton down to the mat and drops the elbow on him. He's going to go for the cover here. The pin roll is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 11, Bobby Fulton kicks out of that one. Didn't even get a 1 count. Crusher still in control, and now it is Crusher applying the stomach claw. Stomach claw applied by the Crusher. Can Bobby Fulton get over and make the tag? On a roll of 5, he does. And the defensive tag made, and Tommy Rogers comes into the ring now, the fresh man for the Fantastics. He's going to try a hip toss across the ring. Crusher powers his way out of that one. And instead, it is the Crusher with a knee drop onto Tommy Rogers that stuns Tommy. Crusher coming back with a blatant chokehold. And Tommy Rogers powers his way out of the chokehold. Into the ring comes Bobby Fulton, a double sit-out hip toss delivered to the Crusher. And the Crusher goes down. He gets up slowly. Fulton now once again the legal man in the ring, as that tag team chemistry of the Fantastics is second to none. Here's a leapfrog arm breaker executed onto the Crusher. Crusher now favoring that left shoulder. And now a right-hand punch by Fulton puts Crusher down on the mat. How about that? Fulton's going for the cover. Pin roll is 3 or lower, and on a roll of 9, Crusher is able to kick out, and the match will continue with Bobby Fulton in control. Crusher trying to get out of the ring. That's not going to happen, as Fulton drags him back into the ring and catches him with a running knee lift that stuns the Crusher. Crusher stunned, Bobby Fulton coming back at him, and now Rogers is in the ring again. A leapfrog arm breaker attempted but missed, as Fulton mistimed that. Crusher ducked out of that and hit both men with a double clothesline. Crusher now in control, and he is going to go with a blatant chokehold once again on Bobby Fulton. Referee putting the count on him. And on the count of 4, Crusher able to, or forced to break the hold. Fulton cannot get over to make the tag, as the Crusher continues on the offensive. Crusher on offense now with a big knee drop onto Fulton. Fulton not able to get over again for a tag, as Crusher follows that up with another big elbow drop. Now it's Crusher going for a cover. The pin roll here is 5 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Bobby Fulton is able to kick out. Crusher in control after that big elbow drop, and now he's going back to the stomach claw, working to weaken his opponent. And now into the ring comes Dick the Bruiser for an attempt at a double team. And on a roll of 5, they throw Bobby Fulton into the ropes and nail him with a bone-crunching double clothesline. Fulton goes down. Dick the Bruiser in the center of the ring now in control. As the legal man in the ring, he is going to go for a top rope knee drop. That is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 8 or lower. Tommy Rogers comes in to try and make the save. And on a roll of 11, it's all 4 men coming into the ring. So Fulton takes a point of fatigue as the Fantastics use a pin save. And now your tag partner runs in, and so does the opponent's tag partner. A wild brawl erupts with all 4 wrestlers. Roll double disqualification 4. The referee may disqualify both teams. That's not going to happen. If there is no double disqualification, roll 1 die. And on an even roll, Rogers and Fulton will win the brawl. And on a roll of 2, indeed, it is the Fantastics who win the brawl. And it's Fulton who's able to take over against Dick the Bruiser on level 3 offense. What an exciting sequence that was. Dick the Bruiser trying to get out of the ring. Fulton determined not to let that happen. And instead, it is Fulton with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Dick the Bruiser. And on a roll of 12, it is a high drop kick by Bobby Fulton, who nails Dick the Bruiser, and Dick the Bruiser is down. Fulton now with a chance at a level 3 offensive move. He is going to go for a death jump. Fulton going up top. And on a roll of 7, he nails Dick the Bruiser off the top rope with a missile drop kick. And Dick the Bruiser now is stunned. Here comes Tommy Rogers. We're going to see a double team by the Fantastics. And on a roll of 6, that is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered by the Fantastics. Tommy Rogers now in control. Rogers goes to the sleeper hold. Dick the Bruiser has been worn down. He goes to one knee. He's desperately trying to get over and make a tag, and he gets there. Dick the Bruiser able to tag in the Crusher just when it looked like the Bruiser was in trouble. Crusher comes into the ring against Tommy Rogers. Crusher with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Tommy Rogers, and on a roll of 7, that is a big kick delivered by the Crusher into the midsection of Tommy Rogers. And now he's going to that blatant chokehold. He needs a roll of 9 or lower to complete that. He gets it. And Rogers goes down to one knee. Crusher stays on him. Crusher now with a stomp to the body. Rogers rolls out of the way of that one. Gets to his feet. They come together in the center of the ring. And it is Rogers with a kick to the midsection that stuns the Crusher. Good recovery by Rogers to come back. And now they hit the double monkey flip. The double monkey flip has been hit by the Fantastics. That means no defensive tags for the next 3 moves, as Bobby Fulton is in the ring and in control against the Crusher. Here's a leapfrog arm breaker that stuns the Crusher. No tag able to be made. And now a right hand punch by Bobby Fulton. Crusher goes down. The pin roll here is 4 or lower. And on a roll of 3, he got him. How about that? Double teaming by the Fantastics has earned them the victory, as Fulton pins Crusher after a right hand punch to the side of the head. So Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, the Fantastics, have moved into the semifinals of the Filsinger Cup Tag Team Tournament here, as we say goodbye to Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher. What an exciting finish to that. Boos come from the crowd. Carl Zilla booing. And gosh, we've got a lot of folks who have joined us in the chat room here since that last match began. JVD Studios, welcome to you, my friend, to tonight's wrestling action from the Dave Cave and Pop's Reviews. My good buddy Hasim, thank you for coming out tonight for tonight's Filsinger Cup Tag Team Championship action. And now we are getting back to it with our next contest. The following contest is a singles match as part of the Filsinger Cup Championship Tournament. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect, as this is a Filsinger Cup Championship Tournament match. Introducing first, he stands at 5'11", weighs 259 pounds. Out of New York City, this is ADRIAN Adonis. ADRIAN Adonis is here. Adonis picked up a surprise victory in the first round with an upset win over Ed Strangler Lewis. But Adonis is going to have his hands full here tonight, as his opponent is your current reigning PWMA heavyweight champion. He stands at 6'1", weighs 245 pounds, out of Beverly Hills, California. This is Nick Bockwinkel. So Adonis managed to get past Strangler Lewis in the opening round, but he's got a very formidable task ahead of him in the person of Nick Bockwinkel in tonight's match in the round of 16. So Bockwinkel versus Adonis coming up here. And the opening initiative roll is tied, so we go to our shenanigans book. The book of shenanigans in effect. ADRIAN Adonis will be rolling in the wild card results from our face of the match. And on a 6-6, that is highlight reel B. So something very interesting is going to happen here, presumably. And the roll is 2-3. The wrestler insults his opponent. Increase each wrestler's grudge grade by 1 point. Roll separately for each wrestler. So we don't use the grudge grades here, but we'll say Adonis gets the momentum by virtue of insulting Nick Bockwinkel. Maybe he spit in the face of Nick Bockwinkel, and it is Adonis who will open the match on level 2 offense. And Adonis comes with a jumping knee smash. Nick Bockwinkel dazed by that. But I don't think Nick Bockwinkel is one to lose his cool. Adonis comes at him with a standing dropkick, and immediately Nick Bockwinkel sidesteps that. And it is Bockwinkel who comes back with a knee drop to the leg of Adonis. They come together in the center of the ring. Adonis is going to go for a scoop slam, and down to the canvas hard goes Nick Bockwinkel, and immediately Nick Bockwinkel is just going to roll out of the ring. Nick Bockwinkel, the master of the psychology of wrestling, rolls out of the ring, and Adonis is just going to wait him out as Nick Bockwinkel takes his time on the outside. Adonis ready and waiting as he comes back in. And now as Adonis grabs Bockwinkel by the neck and drops him with a bulldog headlock, stunning Nick Bockwinkel. Adonis in control. He's going to go for a choice F maneuver, choice F. So this will be a running lariat on a roll of 7 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Adonis nails the running lariat. And Nick Bockwinkel again goes down and again rolls out of the ring. Bockwinkel on the arena floor. And this time Adonis is going to come after him. And on the arena floor, Adonis has the advantage. And he picks up Bockwinkel and body slams Bockwinkel onto the arena floor. So interesting start to this match, as Adonis now has Bockwinkel in a bit of trouble. And immediately he goes to the Goodnight Irene. That is a level 0 finisher. Sleeper hold applied. The submission rating here is only snake eyes. And on a roll of 5, Bockwinkel easily able to work his way out of the sleeper hold, but Adonis maintains control. And now a DDT by Adonis dumps Bockwinkel on his head. Bockwinkel certainly getting more than he bargained for in this match, as Adonis comes at him with a gut-wrench backbreaker, and Bockwinkel is hurt. Adonis, very good technical wrestler, especially back in the days when he was smaller and more fit. And Adonis is going to follow that up with another gut-wrench backbreaker that puts Bockwinkel back onto the canvas. Adonis still in control, and now another big vertical suplex puts Bockwinkel down to the canvas. Adonis again going for the cover. The pin roll now is 3 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Bockwinkel is able to kick out. But Adonis has taken control of this match in the early segments, and now another bulldog headlock applied to Bockwinkel, and again Bockwinkel gets dumped on his head in the center of the ring. Adonis stays on him. Another gut wrench backbreaker, and down goes Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel now slow to get up to his feet. And it's Adonis who is going to pitch Bockwinkel out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 8, it is Adonis who comes out of the ring and gives Nick Bockwinkel a throat drop onto the security railing. That's nasty. Bockwinkel taking all kinds of punishment from Adrian Adonis here in Toronto. And now Adonis is going to go up for a death jump. Death jump coming here from Adonis. And on a roll of 5, that is that's bad news for Adonis as he climbs up to the top, but Bockwinkel caught him and threw him down to the canvas hard. Perhaps Bockwinkel playing a little bit of possum there, but he is now in control, and he's going right to the figure 4 leg lock. This is a +1 finisher. Submission roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 8, Adonis is able to power his way to the bottom rope to force the hold to be broken. Bockwinkel still in control, and now Bockwinkel goes to the sleeper. The Bockwinkel sleeper, a +2 finisher, much more effective than the Adonis version. So the submission roll here is 6 or lower, and on a roll of 5, he got him. Interesting match as Bockwinkel takes the measure of Adonis with the Bockwinkel sleeper. After Adonis really had control of that match for a good bit of the time, and Bockwinkel had to keep his cool and pick his spot. And when the opportunity presented himself, it was Bockwinkel with the sleeper hold who puts away Adrian Adonis, and it is Bockwinkel who advances. How about that? That's more like it, says Carl Zilla. Indeed, you are correct, sir. And yeah, the Bockwinkel sleeper is legendary in the history of Heartland Championship Wrestling. By virtue of that Bockwinkel sleeper, Nick Bockwinkel is the only man in the history of Heartland Championship Wrestling who has defeated Andre the Giant twice. And both times it was that Bockwinkel sleeper that took down Andre and sent him to defeat. So Nick Bockwinkel, a legendary figure here in Heartland Championship Wrestling history. All right, the show goes on. 2 matches down, 2 to go. This is also a nice what if AWA match. These two probably would have had a nice matchup. Indeed, Pops Reviews, you are correct. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a tag team matchup scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect as this is a Filsinger Cup tournament matchup. Introducing first, team number 1 at a total combined weight of 468 pounds out of Sydney, Australia, collectively known as the Fabulous Kangaroos. This is Al Costello and his tag team partner, Roy Heffernan. So Heffernan and Costello, the Fabulous Kangaroos, actually ply their trade here in Patriot Championship Wrestling, so they are no strangers to this crowd, although the crowd certainly has mixed opinions about the appearance of the Kangaroos here tonight. Not true for their opponents. Their opponents are the reigning NWA World Tag Team Champions at a total combined weight of 441 pounds. They hail from Blackwell, Oklahoma. This is Jack and Jerry Briscoe, the Briscoe brothers. All right, the Briscoe brothers and the Fabulous Kangaroos set to match up here in the Filsinger Cup tournament. No Wild Red, asks Carl Zilla. Wild Red has not been part of the Kangaroos run, and he doesn't appear on either of their cards with a distractor rating. So yeah, I've just always let the Kangaroos do their own thing. And it will be Jack Briscoe starting things off for his team against Roy Heffernan. And the opening initiative role is won by Jack Briscoe. As they come together in the center of the ring, it is Briscoe attempting a body slam. Heffernan, the stronger of the two men, powers his way out of that. And it is Heffernan with a jumping headbutt instead. Wow, Jack Briscoe stunned by that. Tries to shake it off. They come back together in the center of the ring, and this time it is Briscoe with a jumping knee smash to the side of the head of Roy Heffernan, and Heffernan now is stunned. Heffernan is not able to get over and make a tag as Jack Briscoe takes control. And now it is going to be a attempted airplane spin, choice E maneuver, choice E, which will require a roll of 7 or lower to hit that with level 3 effectiveness. And on a roll of 11, it's Heffernan who powers his way out of the airplane spin, and it is Heffernan who counters with a monkey flip. Briscoe up, over, and down to the canvas hard. They get up to their feet again, and Jack Briscoe now takes control. And Jack Briscoe with an arm drag takes Heffernan over. Heffernan fires back. He's going to attempt a cross arm breaker, a choice D maneuver, choice D. So he'll need 9 or lower to hit that, and on a roll of 5, he got it. And Jack Briscoe is hurt. Heffernan going to tag into his partner Al Costello. Costello making his first appearance in the match. And Costello comes in with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Jack Briscoe. And on a roll of 7, it is Costello dropping down. Briscoe coming back off the other way. And on a roll of 9, we go to the power ratings. And it is Briscoe, the stronger of the two men, who wins the running shoulder tackle. And Jack is going to tag out to Brother Jerry. Jerry Briscoe comes into the ring. He's going to go right to a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Al Costello. But on a roll of 2, it is Jerry Briscoe attempting the running clothesline. But Costello moves out of the way. Briscoe slams into the turnbuckle. And Costello quickly going for a cover. The pinroll here 3 or lower. And on a roll of 9, Jerry Briscoe able to kick out. But a severe miscalculation by Jerry Briscoe cost him a point of fatigue, and Costello now in control. And now they go to the boomerang. That's their +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 7 or lower, which is going to require the use of a pin save. And on a roll of 7, there is no pin save. So now Jerry Briscoe will be pinned on a roll of 7 or lower. And on a roll of 10, Briscoe kicks out. How about that? A very near miss. A very near catastrophe for Jerry Briscoe. Legal man now in the ring for the Kangaroos is Roy Heffernan. And Heffernan comes at him with a flying tackle. Briscoe is hurt. Heffernan remains in control. Comes at him with a kangaroo kick. Jerry Briscoe still hurt. Heffernan ties him up in a surfboard hold. Jerry Briscoe struggling to get free. And now we're going to see a tag to Costello for a double team action. And on a roll of 6, it is a awesome double neck breaker delivered by the Kangaroos that puts Jerry down to the canvas. Heffernan, or Al Costello now, the legal man in the ring and in control at level 3 offense. And on a roll of 4, that is the kangaroo leap, which is an add 1 maneuver. And it also has Briscoe with the opportunity to be pinned here on a roll of 6 or lower. And on a roll of 4, it is Jack coming in who makes the save, but that is the last pin save that the Briscoe brothers have available. Jerry Briscoe in trouble here, as Al Costello looks to finish him off. They go to the kangaroo leap again. That's another add 1. And, excuse me, that's a tag move, so that would be Heffernan in control with a flying tackle. That is not an add 1. But the defensive roll was 1, so Heffernan does have a chance for a cover here. On a roll of 7 or lower, there will be a pin. And on a roll of 8, Jerry Briscoe just got his leg over the bottom rope. And the match continues with Heffernan in control. Heffernan now is going to pitch Jerry Briscoe out of the ring. Maybe not the best idea, but on a roll of 6, they mix it up on the arena floor, and it is Heffernan who wins the brawl with an Irish whip into the ring steps. Jerry Briscoe still in trouble. Heffernan in control, and Heffernan with another flying tackle stuns Jerry Briscoe. Heffernan comes back with a catapult smash off of the level 2 offense. That's an add 1 move. And we hit the pin roll again. So the pin roll now 9 or lower. And on a roll of 10, Briscoe again kicks out. What resilience shown by Jerry Brisco. That's twice that he has avoided near catastrophe, but Brisco has got nothing left in his tank. Desperately needs a tag as Al Costello comes in. They hit the boomerang. That's a +3, and that makes the pin roll 13. I always do the roll, and on 12 there's always an escape, but there will be no escape this time as Jerry Brisco has been pinned. A stunning turn of events here as the NWA World Tag Team Champions have gone down to defeat. After a prolonged double team, Jerry Brisco goes down to the boomerang as Al Costello scores the pin. So congratulations to the team of Al Costello and Roy Heffernan. Not only do they move on in the Filsinger Cup tournament, but they have picked up a victory over the reigning NWA World Tag Team Champions. Wow, how about that matchup? That was crazy indeed. And that brings us now to our main event of the evening, as the Kangaroos receive their share of boos, even from their home territory fans here in Maple Leaf Gardens. A controversial duo indeed. But now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our main event of the evening. And again, this is a match in the Filsinger Cup Championship Tournament. Introducing first. He stands at 5'10", comes in at 265 pounds out of Abruzzi, Italy. This is Bruno Sammartino. And his opponent also stands at 5'10", weighs in at 185 pounds out of Aberdeen, Washington. He is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. So Danielson and Sammartino, a couple of short guys with contrasting styles. Bruno, the powerhouse, and Danielson, of course, the technical wizard, as they prepare to do battle here in Toronto in a Filsinger Cup Championship match. Good crowd here. Good chat going on. Carl Zilla says, "Kill him, Bruno." Carl Zilla seems to like the older guys. Sammartino, Bruiser and Crusher, the Kangaroos. Likes those classic wrestlers, and Carl Zilla indeed has contributed some classic bootlegs to the library of available talent in the Filsinger gaming universe. And now it is Sammartino who wins the opening initiative role here. As they come together in the center of the ring, it is a test of strength, and Sammartino is going to dominate that. And Bryan Danielson quickly goes down. And now the Italian backbreaker. Bruno's got him up. The +3 finisher right off of the jump. Submission roll 4 or lower here, and Danielson gets out of that. But boy, Bruno making a powerful statement off of the opening lockup, nearly forcing a submission. And Bruno now pitches Danielson out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Bruno definitely with an advantage on the arena floor. And on a roll of 6, it is Bruno with some rough stuff. Putting a whooping on Bryan Danielson with a DDT onto the concrete floor. That, my friends, is nasty. And Danielson quickly in trouble here against the likes of one Bruno Sammartino. And now Bruno is going to go for a Boston Crab. A Boston Crab, a choice H maneuver, so he can either go agility, which is no good against Danielson, or death jump. So Danielson's going to, Bruno's going to have to consult the death jump chart. And on a roll of 8, Sammartino is able to get the Boston Crab in place and weaken Danielson further. And now he is going to go for another roll on that same chart. And this time on a roll of 12, it is going to be a possible submission to the Boston Crab. The submission roll here is Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 10, Danielson able to painfully crawl his way back to the bottom rope. I don't see Bruno as a death jump guy, so I'm just going to call that as the Boston Crab whenever he hits that move on level 3 offense. And now it is out of the ring once again. Bruno pitching Danielson out to the arena floor for more rough stuff. And again, it is Bruno winning the brawl on the arena floor with a drop kick over the steel security railing as Bryan Danielson tumbles into the crowd. Boy, Bruno Sammartino has completely taken the measure of this young punk in this match. Just dominated this from the opening, and now he's going up once again for that Boston Crab on the death jump roll. And again, he gets him over and down. And now the bear hug. Now the bear hug applied. This is a zero finisher. So Danielson will submit on 3 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Danielson bears up and digs deep and is able to keep competitive. As Bruno now with a big knee to the side of the head. Bruno again going for the cover. Pin roll here is 4 or lower. And on Snake Eyes, Danielson kicks out. Or excuse me, boxcars. Bruno's still in control, and now Bruno's going to the Italian backbreaker. This is the +3 finisher. The submission roll now is 8 or lower, and finally on a roll of 7, he got him. Sammartino dominated the main event, winning with the Italian backbreaker. So Bruno Sammartino moves on in the Filsinger Cup tournament. And say goodbye to Bryan Danielson. All right, now before we go, I am going to try and do something different here. I am going to try and show the Filsinger Cup brackets. So we go here to Excel, and you should all now be seeing the Excel screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have the singles bracket. Sammartino has just picked up the victory over Bryan Danielson, and he will now move on to face Rick Rude in the quarterfinals. Earlier tonight, we saw Nick Bockwinkel also move forward to the quarterfinals. So Bockwinkel will face the winner of Steen and DiBiase. Bob Backlund has already moved into the quarters where he awaits the winner of Ric Flair and Gorgeous George. Johnny Valentine and Nick Aldis set to square off. And Rick Rude and Bruno Sammartino. That is what your singles bracket looks like. Over here on the tag team bracket, it is Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack awaiting a quarterfinal matchup. The Steiner brothers have already moved into the semis. And tonight we saw the Kangaroos pick up another victory. And it was the Fantastics So the Fantastics will be taking on the Kangaroos. And they have some history feuding over the Patriot Tag Team Champions. And that is one semifinal. The other will be the Steiner brothers against the winner of the match between the Road Warriors and the team of Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack. All right, I hope that worked out for everybody as we come back to the tabletop. And we hit back over to the chat room as we wind things up for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Neil Lau, Pops Reviews, Carl Zilla, Cleveland Baseball Fan 879 was here earlier in the show. JVD Studios, thank you to you as well. Please drop the elbow on that like button on your way out of the arena. We will be back next Sunday. Next Sunday will be the day that the Filsinger Cups will be awarded in here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thank you to everybody for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. And this is Dave Little signing off from the Dave Cave. That's our stream, and I am out of here.